I am a wife, mum, a fashion brand business owner, a thought leader and ambassador. My why is to bring fashion back to nature and to build a global merino wool fashion brand that supports the wool industry while also giving back to important causes close to my heart, like breast and childhood cancers.
Something I've noticed within our community, Kerry, is the way in which adversity or a person's struggles have inspired the creation of their business and their drive to create a solution so that that product or service really eases the path forward for other women.
Absolutely, Lucy. And that compassionate quality, that wanting to give back, it's really evident when you look at our business owning community. Emily Riggs, who is our guest on today's Mumbition, she's a terrific example of that. And she turned to fashion and design after personal illness and then the loss of her mum, and her business, Iris and Wool, grew from there. Based on a sheep farm in South Australia, Emily is also true and passionate advocate for rural-based women. So Emily, we love sharing women's stories. Please tell us yours.
Thank you very much for having me on the podcast. It's great. So my childhood, the first few years, or half of my childhood was idyllic Australian, quintessential Australia. I grew up in the country. My parents were both school teachers, and my grandparents and cousins had farms, so all my summer holidays were spent down on the farm with them, riding horses from dawn to dusk. Just beautiful. And I remember my auntie had the best clothes, and she'd always let us play with them. And for as long as I can remember, it's been a joy for me to play with clothes. But little did I know that as a 9-year-old that fashion would become my protection and help me to survive. When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And not many 9-year-olds would know what this meant, but I did, because Mum was in the battle of her life with breast cancer. I remember one of the first things I said was, oh God, I don't want to lose my hair, because obviously Mum was bald. And so sadly, within a year into my treatment, Mum sadly lost her battle. She died. She was only 43. It was the hardest time of my life. I lost Mum. I was so sick I could barely get out of bed, and I did end up losing my hair. And on occasions I was mistaken for a boy, and that really shattered my confidence, being a 9-10-year-old girl being called a boy. So it was sort of then that I turned to fashion. It was a way I loved putting outfits together, getting dressed up, and it was a way for people to look beyond my illness. And I remember what a thrill it was when someone would compliment me. I would it just was just so lovely that someone would compliment me, even though I looked sick and awful. But so now I definitely, if someone compliments me, I make sure I look them in the eye and thank them sincerely. And so then, fast forward, that's a long-winded story, but fast forward to 20 years on, I fell in love with a hot farmer, and who is Tom, my husband, and he is a 5th-generation wool producer. So I also fell in love with Australian merino wool, and I thought, how could I contribute to the industry and also do something that I love in fashion? So I then created my fashion brand, which is called Iris and Wool, and we are in our 5th year of business, and it's all loving it, just going really well.
Wow, what a journey. I think that when you said that fashion has always been something that you can come back to and have the magic of fashion in your life, to help you go through some really tough times as well. And sorry, I know you have your 2 young children as well. They would have been,
So
if your business is 5 years old.
yes, I had a babe. I had a newborn. My son Sam. He was I launched when I was breastfeeding him, long nights. That was how it all sort of came came about. I was, just one of those long nights feeding Sammy and thought, how can I contribute to the industry? And that's when Iris and Wool was born. Yeah.
Wow, that's really special too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible. And I think that almost a third of business owning women in Australia have launched their business whilst they're on maternity leave. I'm not sure. Maybe there's lots going on at that time in your life, and maybe just that sort of you're questioning how you can actually make an impact, or how you can actually pursue something you're passionate about. And this obviously was one of those times.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I know that there's so much, when I was looking into your website, obviously doing a bit of research and knowing about your story, that's certainly, there's been a lot of blending between what your purpose is with your business now as well, because I know that you do a lot of work in that space to help those that are experiencing cancer or able to, with your beanies, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have recently started donating. We do a little children's collection as well. So I now donate the little kids' beanies to a South Australian charity called Childhood Cancer Association, and they give every newly cancer diagnosed child in South Australia, they give them a hospital bag full of all the essential items that you need just to help ease the burden for the families. And that's just one part of what they actually do. But I've also now donated one of our beanies to go into that hospital bag, and it's quite gorgeous. I received a photo of a young girl. It just brought back my memories. She obviously had a wig on with these beautiful long plaits, and then had my beanie over that, and I got sent that from the parents, and it's just very heartwarming. And we also donate $1 from each sale to that same charity as well. Giving back is very important, because I understand what they've been going through, what they are going through, so it's just a nice touch what we can do.
Just beautiful. Now, on that, what's the most transferable skill between running a business and being a mother to 2 young children?
I think that we multitask. We can do 100 things at once, like if we may be juggling, but we sort of just tend to get it done, don't we? When there's a dream or a goal that you want to achieve, I think, you just go for it and give your all.
Emily, you touched on the sense of community and giving back before with your beautiful beanies, but we also know that you're based in rural South Australia. You're joining. I think it's around 30% of all business owning women in Australia are in rural or regional areas. So I'm just wondering, what do you think your connection to your own community, and I guess rural Australia at large, having, an understanding of what it's like to be a business owning woman outside of a metro area, how have those connections helped you to strengthen your business?
Well, I think it's the regional communities and people that actually have allowed me to grow the business. They've been there from day one. They've supported me. They were my first customers. Even regional boutiques, they were the first businesses that took a gamble on the brand and stocked Iris and Wool. So I'll be forever grateful to our regional community, and also organisations such as Buy From the Bush. They really helped grow my brand as well, and it's all, I think, it's a lovely community to be in, and I hope I can help other businesses starting out like I was helped when I was starting out.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful ongoing relationship. Now, you're joining us today, as you shared earlier, from your shop, which is exciting. What's some of your favourite ways to connect with your customers, whether you're in the shop or online?
Well, I get a real thrill of just being down the street, just minding my own business, and I look up and there's someone in Iris and Wool. It's like, wow, how does that happen? Even like in Adelaide, I remember once I was just driving in the back streets of Adelaide, and I looked to the side of me and there was a lady walking with her daughter, and she was wearing Iris and Wool. I was like, oh my goodness. So I love seeing that, and then I obviously go up and thank them and say they look beautiful and thank them for the support. And then I also, just on Instagram, I've been able to sort of connect really well with my customers on Instagram. I speak as it's me. It's from my heart. I share my vulnerabilities and the behind the scenes, and I think they really connect with that too.
And just building on that, can you share some of the ways that you've found has worked well to boost the visibility of your online business?
Yeah, so getting seen is hard, especially on the online fashion business being so saturated. The fashion industry is there's so many brands. But I have really honed in on sharing my personal story, my backstory, being as truthful and raw as possible, and hoping people can relate, and hopefully I can help people and inspire people. And I've, just really done that through social media and a lot of PR. And then I've also have partnerships and collaborations have been a big thing for the business. Such as a couple of years ago, I sent some items to Mia Friedman, and she shared them on her social media, and within days I was sold out of those product lines. She's the definition of influencer. She was like, it's just incredible. That's what one woman can do. And then I've also done a collaboration with Katrina Rountree, which we designed a 5-piece capsule collection together and sold that. So that was really good. She really aligned well with the brand. She's married to a merino sheep farmer as well and has my target audience following her. So that really helped the brand too. Yeah, and also I go out and speak a fair bit too. I used to be, believe it or not, terrified of public speaking. I still have a real fear of it, but I push through it because I know it does help people, like when I'm vulnerable, and it's also a good way of getting the business name out there too.
And so tell us a little bit about that. I imagine it would have been so much fun developing a capsule collection with Katrina. Like,
she's so
the
good,
energy. Yeah.
So brilliant energy too, like just a lovely person. And now we're friends. So yeah, it was, the way it happened, she was actually at a local show here, not far from Borough, and I knew she was the AWI wool ambassador, and loves wool, so I knew she was heavily involved in promoting the fibre. So me who doesn't like to hear the word no, or I just I ask, because if you don't ask, you won't ever know. So I just approached her, and next thing I knew, we were designing a 5-piece collection, which sold out, and now one of the dresses has become quite synonymous for Iris and wool. Anyway, we've done different versions of it, and this spring summer we have done a shorter version of it, short sleeve and shorter length. So yeah, it's just been wonderful, and whenever she can, she helps me with the brand now, and like I said, we've become quite good friends.
Gorgeous. Yeah. And for those that are listening,
Emily
just picked up a beautiful navy blue merino wool dress with ruffle neck collar. You'll just have to go into the website to have a look.
Yeah.
And one more thing that you've mentioned is that I'm really appreciative that you called out. You used to not like public speaking that much, and now you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that a lot of our community we find with a lot of our community, that they want visibility, but they haven't actually just processed that they need to talk about their business and that they can. And that's perfectly normal at the start. But once they get a few tips and tricks under the belt and a little bit of coaching, you end up loving talking about your business.
Yeah, you do. And it just it's natural too. So and you know your story, you know you love your strengths. So it's just, it's it's another wonderful way to connect with customers and other networks. Like, you meet people going to different events to speak at, and
absolutely. And we do a lot of practice your pitching and pitch coaching at Mums & Co. We've got an amazing online course where people can learn how to literally be confident and
brilliant.
articulate with their pitch in under a minute. So,
Not so good.
yeah, I definitely see that.
Yeah.
Now, you started Iris and Wool as a way of expressing your creativity, which is, I think, foundational to your sense of well-being. What else do you do each week to create a sense of groundness?
I love running. Some people probably wouldn't think that was creating a sense of wellness, but for me it's sort of my way of meditating, I suppose. I can zone out and listen to podcasts such as this one and really, just be with myself, with me. And I do PT once a week. My PT actually works for me at Iris and Wool too, so she gets me back in the gym.
Accountability, right there.
And just, I think, walking through the doors of my shop, I think that just gives me a sense of joy and what I've achieved, and it's my happy place, I suppose. Yeah.
Emily, at Mums & Co, we talk about the concept of harmony as being a triangle of our ambition, our livelihood and our well-being, all things we've touched on in this interview today. But we were wondering if you could share or describe the shape of a good life for you.
Yeah, so as my lovely mother-in-law, who sadly she passed away about 10 days ago of pancreatic cancer, she'd always tell me, your health is your wealth and the rest in life is a bonus. So I think, your health is the most important thing. If you're not healthy, you can't enjoy life's possibilities and the wonderful things that life can offer you. So I just wanted to say that as a tribute to my dear mother-in-law who, we've sadly lost not that long ago.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Our final question then is, and I know one that will resonate with you because you're obviously a firm supporter of women everywhere, but in the spirit of women supporting women, who are the Mumbitious? And that's a Mums & Co word for women who are unapologetically blending their motherhood and ambition that you would like to say hello to today.
So firstly, I'd just like to say a big hello to all the farmers' wives out there. Most of them would be in the midst of harvest or about to start harvest, and it's a busy time on the farm and their husbands are missing in action for a good couple of months. So I see you. But then also my next farm neighbour, Steph Schmidt, she's a farmer and a psychologist, and she shares some great tips for us all on how to get through the farming seasons. And she's just a wonderful human. So look her up.
Thanks so much for joining us on Mumbition, the podcast by Mums & Co today. Now, if you would like to connect with Emily and Iris and Wool, you can find her on the Mums & Co member directory on our member platform. And if you haven't already joined the thousands of business-owning women just like you, join us at mumsandco.com.au. We have membership tiers to suit women at all stages of business and motherhood. And if you enjoyed today's podcast, please rate and review us. Lucy and I love reading your reviews and your feedback. It also means that more women in business can be supported and they can tap into these Mumbitious stories to inspire and inform them.
What is the best thing about living on a sheep farm?
So the fresh air and freedom, the community, and you've just got a natural born, ready-made community around you, and as corny as it sounds, it is a beautiful place to bring up kids. The dirt, the fresh air, the motorbikes, the tractors, the horses, it all builds resilience in our kids. And specifically for my business, it's a bit of a unique selling point as well, as the city people love to see all the real and raw behind the scenes of farm life.